Yo, what's going on? It's Tyler. Before the podcast begins, I just want to let you know where you can find us at. You can find us on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. Right now, we're only in audio format, but video is coming very soon. You can also check us out on Twitter at Spin the Rock, where you can get weekly episode updates. All the links will be in the description. And thank you for listening.
Hello and welcome to the third episode of the Spin the Rock podcast, a basketball podcast for fans with fans. I am your host, Angel, and with me today is
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Vaughn.
No Eugene. He got into a bowling tournament. Van's a pro bowler now.
Bowl is life.
Bowl is life for sure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, it's also funny because he's actually good, which is like
Yeah.
he got 300 games in like a week and a half or something like that.
Yeah, he's leveling up. It's crazy.
So it's kind of weird to like see him in bowling tournaments and then also see him like succeed. Let's just get into what's been happening. So we have some ESPYS talk, just a little bit about the basketball winners. We're not talking about all the nominees, but we'll just talk about the basketball like winners. So first off, obviously the biggest one is best NBA player, and the nominees were Jokic, Embiid, Doncic, and Curry. And Curry is the one who walked away with an SB. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, it's a no-brainer just from literally everything that he's done from the beginning to the end of the season, from winning the first ever Kobe Award for the All-Star, first conference MVP, and then obviously winning the Finals MVP and winning a championship. There's no other choice. Like, granted, everybody else had great seasons, but if you didn't pick him, like, I wouldn't know. Like, everybody would probably just be like, "Are you serious?" Like, it's just the most obvious choice. That's how I feel about it. So.
I mean, he did win championship, finals MVP. Good for him, but like, who cares? Like, it's an award show. It means nothing. Like, if we talk about some KD's tweets, is like, "What did you do to add to your legacy?" I don't think ESPYS is adding anything to Steph's legacy. Like, you won 4 championships. He's 2-time MVP. He's the
First
greatest
unanimous.
shooter known to man. No one's gonna add ESPYS onto his resume. It's just an award show, so like the athletes and whoever can do some networking and meet each other. It's just like I don't think it should really hold a lot of weight to those shows. So that's what I
Yeah.
think about it.
There's also a pattern. I'll see if you guys pick it up. The best team winner overall in all sports, I think it was Golden State won that. The best record-breaking performance, Steph Curry passing Ray Allen for most 3-pointers. Best comeback athlete was Klay Thompson. So the Warriors got some hardware.
They might as well. They probably just swept that entire thing, didn't they? I didn't get a chance to peep that.
Yeah, that's all. Like that's all the basketball like winners. If they play basketball, the Warriors won all of them. They're like, I know Ja was nominated for something, and I know Chet was nominated for something, but all the ones who won, every single one was Warriors.
It's funny
So
because every category you mentioned, it makes complete sense that they won that award. Like,
yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean,
so it's their
the
year.
best
Like,
comeback athlete, Klay Thompson one, was the only one that people were like, "Why did he win?" But I feel like it was non-basketball fans who were mad that he won.
mhm.
But I feel like to us, Klay Thompson was the obvious choice.
To come back from an
No,
ACL tear and then an
two
Achilles tear,
years,
and then to win a
2 years.
exactly, and then to win a championship, your first
Yeah.
season back. Like, yeah, you're the obvious choice. Like, that's yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But moving on, that was the SBs. Like Vaughn said, I feel like no one's gonna walk away being like, "Damn, I'm so glad I won that SB." Like,
It's like a Kids' Choice
um,
Award.
you low key, it is like a
On the
kid's
low.
choice award. Next up, but just a small talk about McClung signing with the Warriors for a year. I don't know how much he got paid.
It's a 1-year non-guaranteed contract, so he can make the roster. Um, I think it's a money situation. I think he will. Uh, Eugene would be crying right now. if he was here. You know he wanted him on the Lakers. Lakers need young talent. I don't know how far McClung will go in the NBA, but I like seeing young guys get chances like this. So, solid signing. Hope he makes the roster.
Yeah, it is a good signing because I mean it's just more upside for the Warriors because they're developing young talent pretty fast. So it seems, kept Kevon Looney, Jordan Poole, and whatnot, and just watching him like since high school, a lot of people doubted him. They didn't even think he'd make the NBA, let alone be getting offered contracts like all these 10 days and stuff. So seeing him like getting a chance from one of the best teams in the league too, especially, I think it's really good for him. So I wish him nothing but the best, and just been watching him since high school. So I've been a huge fan of his. So
What do y'all think that the Warriors are one of the best teams in terms of recruiting and getting players? Do you think they're one of the best, if not the best?
Yes, especially them because they have a tight salary cap with Steph, Clay, and Draymond with their huge ass contracts. And so they have to either get the veteran minimum for a lot of role players or draft. And they've done a terrific job at drafting. They got Jordan Poole, who just exploded in his breakout year on the way to this championship. And then they have Kuminga. They have Moses Moody, who looked really good in summer league. And then James Wiseman, solid big. I don't know if he can stay healthy, but he's still young talent. And now they got McClung. So I think, yes, they are one of the best at putting together a team with very little on hand.
most definitely too, and the role players that they get are usually solid too, like Bielitsa, known for a big man that can shoot. And then I'm not gonna call him role player anymore after the season he had, but a lot of people saw him as that after leaving the Timberwolves. Andrew Wiggins, and then they just transformed that man. It seemed like I don't know if the system was perfect for him to like let him like elevate his game, but just the people that they get on the team do their part for sure. Like Kevon Looney, snagging boards. Um, the Warriors have they're really good at recruiting. So and the system works for them, especially when they're on the court. So I would say they're one of the best at recruiting players for sure.
And
Yeah,
let's not forget
especially
they drafted Steph, Draymond, and Clay. So
Yeah,
like
they
they
didn't have
don't
to.
miss.
They didn't have to like build a team. They just hey, I don't know.
yeah, they're doing better than teams who have been at the bottom of the league for years and had multiple chances. And like the Warriors are like getting low picks and are still succeeding and
Yeah.
still getting like these diamonds in the rough.
They had two horrible seasons just to come back and just win another one as if like they're like, nah, we didn't die. We multiply. That's the Warriors right there, man. They can't die.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on to another signing, but this signing I feel like is a lot more topic worthy and a pretty big deal. James Harden signs with the 76ers for 2 years, 68.6 million. Tyler, let's start with you. What do you think about this signing?
I mean, just crazy to see him take a pay cut with a player of his caliber and hearing what he said about how committed he is to winning with Philly. That just kind of I'm still, still kind of shaky on it because, a lot of star players say that they're committed to winning with certain teams just for them to leave. And I remember he was that way with Houston and then Brooklyn, the same thing. And then a lot of turmoil there. But he seems to be, from what we're seeing, he seems to be content with Philly, having his running man Embiid. And then they got a solid young core like Tyrese Maxey, especially, who I feel like could like make another leap, even though he's already doing amazing as it is. I honestly think that time will tell with James Harden because I feel like he does kind of say stuff like that with teams that he's on after they pay him a good amount of money. But I feel like he might be serious this time just because he took a cut, and I think just time will tell. So we'll see how Philly goes in the long run.
Yeah, he's gotten his bag before. I think this is a $14 million pay cut for this year. And so it's a 2-year deal, but I think the second year is a player option. So if they have to, maybe he opts out and does even a more generous pay cut deal next season. Who knows? Or maybe he walks out on the team like he did Brooklyn and the Rockets. You don't know. I think it's win now. I don't think Harden needs to be 100% the Rockets player he used to be. I don't think he can be that player, but the Sixers need him, and this signing had to get done. I don't think anyone doubted it wouldn't get done. Um, that happened.
Yeah, I think the most surprising thing about the signing was the pay cut. I don't think anyone was surprised he signed with the 76ers. It was more surprising just to see like him take that cut and then proceed to come out and voice how committed he was. Especially because I feel like a lot of people were expecting him to, just take that check like most star players do. Do you think the 76ers are going to be scary with the more focus James Harden? Because he's looking slimmer too. He's looking a lot slimmer than he did at the end of the season.
Team chemistry, I think, will be better because he's not just getting plopped in the team in the middle of the season. He's got practice. He's got all of this off season. Just more time with the team. I don't think they had too much shakeup to the roster. They added PJ Tucker. He's been with Harden before, and I think they'll have more success in the regular season. That remains to be seen in the postseason, though.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't seem to quit like those last couple of games and get his team pissed off like last season. And like you said, he did get traded in the middle of the season, so chemistry is a huge factor. But and then adding a former teammate of his, so there's some type of chemistry there. And they got the offseason to work, so I think they'll be good, fully healthy and laser focused. Philly could definitely be a force in this league, and they've been a good contender for the past few seasons. They just can't get over the hump. So hopefully James Harden is that piece that they really need going into the season. So
yeah, I'm excited to see focus Harden because I feel like it's been a while, especially with the drama with the Nets because a lot of stuff happened that season. So I don't know. It's exciting to see what's going to happen with the Sixers. So our main topic today, though, is more focused on the future players, and we're going to be talking about all of us have two prospects. We all have at least one first rounder. So we're just going to be talking about who we think is interesting, who we saw in the summer league and like kind of caught our eye. And we'll also be talking about what they'll add to that team and the league. So why don't you tell us your first rounder, Vaughn?
Okay. I have my first rounder. I'll just touch on the top three picks just for a second. Paolo, Chet, and Jabari Smith Jr. I think they'll be great. Their stats will look good. I don't know what their team impact will look like besides Chet. I think Chet will be an immediate impact on the defensive end, and he's like an unselfish player. So I think he's gonna play well off of Shai Gilgeous, Lou Dort. I think he's the right fit for that team. I don't know how much Paolo and Jabari Smith would do in the Rockets and Magic. I think their stats will look good. I don't know if their team record is gonna like blow you away. But I think my rookie of the year, not knowing like what they look like in the NBA aside from summer league, I'm gonna say Keegan Murray on the Kings.
Good one. That's a good one.
that's a good pick.
Yes. In summer league, he looked smooth with it. He looked like an NBA player. Not being one of those top three picks, he's still a top pick, but like, I think him being a natural scorer is going to make it easier for other players on the Kings to do their thing. You got De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis, Davion Mitchell, Malik Monk just got added. I think he'll relieve some of the pressure on those guys, especially De'Aaron Fox, who's a small guard and who's athletic and plays around the rim a lot. This dude Keegan Murray is just going to relieve some of that pressure off Fox. I don't know if you can hold me to it, but I think this is the year the Kings are a play-in team. at the 10th seed.
Okay.
Hey, that's not a bad take.
The 10th seed
This roster.
Kings coming up.
Yeah, especially because he was summer league MVP and he also shot 38% from the three, which is like
He's
for
very
a power forward, that's kind of crazy.
I just like that jumper of his. But yeah, I don't really have much to say on Keegan Murray besides I just like his game. How about you, Tyler?
Before he got injured, I was watched a little bit of his games in Kentucky. Shaden Sharp for the Portland Trailblazers. He did get injured, so he missed the rest of the summer league. Um, I think he caught my eye because seeing a player like him get added to Portland. Just wanted to see if how they'll play him, if they'll start him off the bat to be in the backcourt with Dame, or I'm just really he piques my interest because I just feel like he could be, if they decide to blow up like the team, he could be a good starting point for the team. I'm not going to say build around him, of course, but I feel like he has a lot of potential and upside, especially looking off his college highlights. And I didn't have much to go on for summer league since he, like I said earlier, got sidelined with the injury. So I would say Shaden Sharp for my first round, and then he's not a second round pick, but we got the rookie from the Bulls, which is my team, Dalen Terry. At first, I was kind of surprised that we drafted a guard, but but I can kind of see why they did it, even though I felt like we needed either a 4 or 5, because our guards are injury prone. Like Lonzo's been out all season or all last season, and then you had Alex Caruso with his fractured hand, and then Zach LaVine has some injuries here and there, and we might be getting rid of Kobe White because there's been his name's been around in a lot of trade rumors. So I can see why they drafted him. And from what I've seen, him and another player on the Bulls, Marko Simonovic, they've been playing like a good 1-2 punch throughout the summer league. So once they get called onto the main team, I feel like that they'll add some energy to the team, being that they're young. And yeah, I just feel like he's just going to be a fresh pair of legs that the Bulls could use.
Yeah, going back to first round, and we'll jump to second round a little bit later. But the Shaden Sharp, I feel like the Trailblazers have a lot of very good young talent in the summer league. So it's kind of exciting to see the Trailblazers actually look like they care about winning again.
Yeah,
because
honestly,
for a long time it looked like they did not care about building around Dame. So
it just seemed like they just gave him players and was like, "Here, do something with it." Like, nah.
Yeah, so it's exciting to see them win the summer league, which I know isn't that big of a deal, but a lot of teams have won and then seen success not too later on.
It's a good start.
So I feel like also Dame is probably kind of relieved that he's got some good players coming to him after signing that contract with the Blazers and being injured last season and ending up at bottom feeding. Let's be honest, the Blazers were bottom feeding, and
he lost his running mate CJ McCollum too. So
yeah, so I feel like he's excited to have some good players because there's other teams. I might mention one of the other Blazers prospects. That's all I'm saying. My pick, and I'm doing this in honor of Eugene. The Thunder had 3 picks in a row, right?
I believe
they had not in a row.
They're loaded with picks, so I don't doubt it.
They had 2 picks in a row, and then they had Chet, so they had 3 picks in total.
Are those is one of those picks the ones that got traded from the Knicks? Are you including that one too? The one got drafted by New York and the guy immediately traded to the Thunder. I think it was the 9th pick, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I was counting that one.
Okay,
yeah.
All right, yeah.
But the 12th pick that they had is shooting guard Jalen Williams, and I feel like this is gonna be such a good addition for the Thunder. Man, it has insane vert. His wingspan is 7'2". The only thing I'm concerned about though is that he's from a smaller school, but many people have shown that small schools don't really matter that much, like Steph Curry with Davidson and shit like that. But he also isn't that good on the three. Like most people aren't really worried about that, which is also kind of concerning because I feel like the one thing Thunder needs is a consistent 3-point shooter because none of their prospects can shoot that great from the three. Like Shy
Shaq can.
kind
Well,
of. He's more of a
Shaq.
finisher.
And playmaker, I feel like.
Yeah, and so is Josh Giddey. Giddey's also like a playmaker,
Yeah.
finisher. So to add another finisher is kind of like concerning. But I feel
Something you
like
don't need.
it's gonna be insane. Like one of those picks is gonna be good, and I feel like Jalen Williams is gonna be that pick. I mean, in the summer league, he was shooting 50% from the field, and he had 11 points. So like, I feel like I don't know. I'm kind of excited to see where the Thunder are gonna be next year, especially because they just have so many picks, and so many of
Well,
those were high.
maybe they could always draft a shooter with one of their 1 million picks. And they got all young guys, so they got smaller contracts. So who knows if they ever feel like they can contend, maybe they just sign the shooters.
Mm-hmm.
That and they got nothing but time and upside because the average age of that team is probably like 21. So I feel like they got nothing but time. So I'm not having high expectations for the Thunder, especially since they're rebuilding. And
Mm-hmm.
let's just see how Sam Presti does with wanting to have like nothing but draft picks for the next like 50 years.
Yeah, I think all of us, like all the teams we mentioned and their prospects, are all teams that like
Are
have
young.
been needing just that one like thing to get them started. And I feel like like the Blazers, the Kings, and the Thunder are all doing pretty good. It's just waiting to see if it actually like works out in the end.
Mhm.
Because like the 76ers were basically doing what the Thunder were doing, and it's
Trust
kind of
the,
working out for them now.
trust the process.
Yeah,
Yeah.
trust the
Yeah.
process. So I don't know. I'm excited to see how all these young teams are going to turn out. Moving on to our second rounders. Why don't we start with me? And I chose kind of bias here, but from a Colorado sophomore, Jabari Walker, the other Jabari. He was on the Blazers, and he was a 57th pick. But
Oh, damn.
I feel like he was such a big steal. I mean, he had 43% from the three, 12 points, 9 rebounds, almost had uh a double average double, and he's like literally the dream defender, which I mean like he can switch, and I feel like that gives every franchise like a boner because like a good switch defender is like what everybody wants. Yeah, Jabari Walker. I mean, like literally a major steal.
What position does he play?
He's a forward,
Okay, well they need forwards. So
another forward who can shoot the three too. Like,
right.
Mhm.
I mean, every team needs a forward who can play D and shoot the three.
yeah. Also, I feel like his rebounding skills is going to be such a help to the Blazers.
Yeah, Yusuf Nurkic, you can't rely on him for rebounds every single game.
Yeah.
You can't rely on for anything every single game.
No, you don't need
I
to-
forgot he was on the Nuggets at one point. I think it was
Yeah,
drafted
they
by
had a choice between having Nurkic or Jokic, and they said buy Nurkic, and it worked
Yeah,
out.
Makes sense.
obviously the better
Jokic
choice.
That's how I chose. I feel like with Jabari Walker and Lillard, it's gonna be a dangerous team once
Well, you
the
forget they
young.
have Anthony Simons too, so
Who's been
for a
going
young,
dummy.
for a young core, yeah,
So
he's like
True.
Lillard 2.0 coming up.
So I feel like once they start getting, pretty solid and not like, get past that little rookie trouble, they're gonna
Mhm.
be they're gonna be a solid team.
Right. Plus, they got Jeremy Grant. I'm probably forgetting someone else. So, let's hope they're more than a playing team.
yeah, hopefully a
I like
playoff
Damian
team.
Lillard. I like players like Damian Lillard who stick their home team and uh, go through the ups and downs of over the years and People say
Yeah.
trade him, but I like seeing this kind of like build it up type of team. So
Um, I got he was undrafted, but I don't know if you guys know who he is. He's a shooter from UCLA. I'm not if you're not familiar with Johnny Juzang. I feel like he's a
oh,
good pickup for the Jazz. I've been watching him since college, and I thought he was going to try to do the draft last year, but he decided to stay another season for UCLA or at UCLA. And I feel like he's a really good pickup because he was a sniper for UCLA. So for him to go to Utah and to be like, I'm assuming going to be a role player, just a shooter, maybe off the bench. I'm not too sure like what if he's was situation is there, but he's a good I think just a good help for Utah, cause especially with Gobert being gone, and like we don't know what they're gonna do with this team. They could just start building up a new roster. Like if you're gonna trade Donovan, and just like start building like your new roster, if that makes any sense. And I was gonna say he'd be a good replacement for Joe Ingles, but I forgot that they traded Joe Ingles. So, but I feel like Johnny Juzang would be a good pickup for them. As far as undrafted, but a second round, which I don't know how I forgot, but Evan Mobley's brother actually got drafted to the same team as his
yeah,
brother Isaiah Mobley.
is
So if they can make something happen, just I believe
is
his
he?
brother plays the four, I want to say.
Yeah, he plays power forward.
So they could
But
be like a Twin Towers thing. So we don't know.
i- is his brother good though, or is he like Thanasis Antetokounmpo? He's just like there to be with his brother
So we're gonna have to see.
for team chemistry. I don't know. I haven't seen anything from his brother.
Hyping off
So.
the bench.
He's a good
I
hype
feel
man.
like that was just something interesting. His brother wasn't like my pick for the second round, but
Mhm.
I chose Juzang even though he was undrafted. But that was my pick.
Yeah, to get him undrafted is probably a good
Mhm.
steal for the Jazz. I feel like anytime you get anyone undrafted, like they're either gonna go really well or it's gonna go really bad.
Yeah, it's hit
But
or miss for sure.
I feel like the Jazz like need people right now because they might lose Mitchell, and losing Gobert already is like a blow to the Jazz. So it's gonna be kind of weird if the Jazz start like becoming a bad team because I feel like they've been a playoff team for so long now.
They can't beat those regular season team allegations though.
Yeah,
At
for
least for
sure.
the past few seasons, they can't. I don't. It sucks for them, but hey,
Yeah, it's the hard truth.
Well,
yeah.
they switched it up with Gobert. I think that's something they needed to do for a while. So we'll see how this season pans out.
Yeah, especially with Mitchell and Gobert, like basically not not being on the same page whatsoever.
Yeah.
This man, star player Donovan Mitchell, passed to his running mate Rudy Gobert 2 times a game. You telling me 2 times a game you can't get the 7-footer a ball near the rim?
Yeah,
There's
that,
something
Yeah, he
wrong
chose
here.
not to.
I don't know if it stemmed from that whole COVID situation from when Gobert thought it was a joke and then Donovan caught it. I don't know if it's that deep or if it was started from there, but hey, apparently there's always been turmoil between those two from reports, but shit, we'll see what they do. Shit.
Yeah.
Let's start. Let's start. All right. Well, I didn't pick a second rounder. I picked round one, pick 20, Malachi Branham, and I chose him because he's on the Spurs, and he's a 6'5" shooting guard. And I feel like the history of the Spurs with these guards is they'll have like these mid to low picks, and then maybe they don't blow everyone away first or even the second season, but then they turn into something. Like we got DeJounte Murray, 6 years in, finally he becomes an all-star. We got Lonnie Walker. I think this is his fourth season, and he's going to the Lakers, and I think he's going to fill that Malik Monk role just fine. And then, of course, Derek White. He was pick 29 or pick 29. Uh, I think this is his sixth season coming up soon, and he was just a contributor to the Celtics finals run. And then Keldon Johnson, also pick 29. Uh, he was looking good last season. I think this is going to be his breakout year. So I think Malachi Branham is kind of like set up with the same future. Maybe he's a really good role player on a finals team. Maybe he becomes an all-star. I just know he's going to become something because he's on this Spurs development team. So I'm kind of excited to see something from him long term. So I don't think he's going to be like your next Jabari Smith or anything. I think he's going to be a good NBA player with a career, a long career. So
Yeah,
I
I feel
hope him.
like bringing it back to earlier when we talked about the Warriors, I think the Spurs are literally almost on the same level as the Warriors because
For
they also,
development, yeah.
yeah, because they also get these young talents and make them into stars and like do such great things with them.
They
Like,
instill that unselfish mentality for sure.
yeah, I mean, Popovich is probably the main reason why.
Yeah, right.
But like at the same time, I feel like I hope the Spurs keep this reputation of like drafting these players and then making them into like really sought out
Contributors.
talents. Yeah,
Yeah.
like Tim Duncan and Kawhi Leonard, like both were like Spurs like homegrown players, and like
Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili.
Ginobili, like, yeah,
yeah, Patty Mills for a long time. Like
Yeah.
he was the
True.
last person on from that team before he left. Like the Spurs know how to build a team and win with them. So
definitely.
I mean, yeah, I'm also excited to see what they do with their picks this year.
Hmm.
I was gonna ask you, Tyler,
Hmm.
how because you brought up your Bulls prospect. How does it feel to like to see them draft people? Because it's always hit or miss with the Bulls. You know, it's either a really really good player or a
Yeah,
really really bad
bad one.
player. So like, how does that like as a fan, like how does that make you feel?
With this pick, you're saying,
Just picks in general.
oh, just okay in general. Yeah, you're right. It usually is a hit or miss. Because we usually either trade them during the draft or we'll keep them for a season and let them walk or trade them. But the recently we've been doing okay with picks. We got, I have to believe, it's the 2020 draft. We got Patrick Williams, who has been drawing a lot of comparisons to Kawhi Leonard, and he's been doing solid. Like every time he's on the court. The only problem he has, I believe, is just injuries. And then just I feel like recently, like they, especially with our new front office, because I feel like they have a better eye for talent because we were stuck with Garpax for so long, sadly. So I just Jesus, and this same front office is actually the same front office that built up the Nuggets team. So I got a lot of faith in them in the coming years. Um, so I feel like it has been like rocky, but I feel like going into the future is going to be nothing but like decent picks. I'm not expecting all stars, of course. I'm not expecting none of that. And if we don't get any good draft picks like during the draft, I feel like they'll sign some undrafted rookies, and I see nothing but upside now. So I think with this new front office change, so
Yeah, I feel like I agree with you. What the Bulls have been doing really good with their picks. So I just want to see what you thought about that.
Mhm.
Because like teams like Vaughn, the Celtics are gonna get good players. They're gonna have rough years for sure, but like someone's gonna come to the Celtics eventually.
Right. You got
So
your Gordon Haywards, your Al Horfords, plus whatever trades go on.
yeah, plus like the Irvings, like you're gonna like. So I don't know. I just want to see like how someone who has a team that like kind of needs draft picks.
Yeah.
How they felt about them being so iffy, because I feel like the Bulls and the Knicks are basically almost the same way about that. They're good at drafting like really good players, but like when they draft a bad player, they draft a
The
bad
bad
player.
player, yeah, for sure. Oh my goodness.
I also have the Warriors 55th pick, and he's a Brazilian player, Gui Santos. I don't know if y'all heard about him.
I think I did. I knew they drafted a Brazilian player, but I didn't see like his name or none. But I saw something real quick and I just didn't look at it too much.
Yeah, he's been making some splashes. People are excited. People are calling him the Brazilian Luka Doncic.
Oh wow. Hey, sheesh.
Because he basically did what Luka did and like play in like the top level of like Brazil, and then like stayed in Brazil one more year to get drafted. He's a forward. He's a pretty he's kind of built like Doncic too. His ball handling and playmaking is really, really good. His athleticism is, not that great. But in his summer league debut, and this is I think why people started talking about him, he had 23.6 rebounds and 3 steals. I mean, for a first game, that's a way to make an impression.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Future G League MVP.
Oh, no.
That's a compliment. He's not going to get minutes on this Warriors roster. He's probably going to be in the G League for like 2 or 3 years.
True.
Let's not forget Jordan Poole.
Yeah, he probably is two-way. Yeah.
Just in the same boat.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I also want you to know, like, what do you guys think about, like, do you care about summer league performances? Like, because I know there's people like D Rose who did bad in summer league, but then popped off in his regular season, and there's people like Steph Curry who did really good in summer league, Kyle Kuzma, like
Josh Hart, all them.
Yeah, so it's like, do you value summer league performances, or is it kind of like, oh, cool, I'll keep an eye out on this player?
Kind of like with the second one, like I'll just keep an eye out for him, but I don't really like hold my breath like for whatever team that they play for, because like, I mean, obviously being, like I said, being a Bulls fan, like you said, when we pick a bad pick, we pick a bad one. I remember we all thought Denzel Valentine was going to be that next thing. He went off in summer league, and then he was pulling up airball threes the year before he signed with Cleveland. So it's more just like I'll keep an eye on him. Like I don't hold my breath for it especially after that. So that's pretty much what I got to say.
Damn, Denzel Valentine. I remember when people were talking about him. I feel like that was such a long time ago.
There's this one play I know from Denzel Valentine. It was a close game. They were coming back. And then, like, full shot clock, Denzel, like, does a pull-up 3 from deep. And the commentator's like, no, you can't do that. It was rough to watch.
Like, I think it was that game when people were attacking him hard. Like, people were attacking him regardless on Twitter. Like, especially throughout the whole season. Like, get rid of this man. Like, there was one comment I will never forget. I think the dude actually got banned because of this comment. It was on Twitter. I think it was like the final score for the Bulls. Like they do like a final score thread on Twitter and stuff. Someone said someone needs to put a bomb in his car right now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. I was like, yo.
Oh my God.
And I forgot who else. I was gonna send it to somebody. I was like, yo, look what this man just said. But it said this account is no longer this account is permanently banned or something crazy like that. I was like, wow.
What is wrong with people?
Like I guess it's basketball, but it's not that deep. Like it kind of makes me think of when Danny Green got death threats when he missed that top of the key shot in the finals in the bubble. And like they were threatening his wife and stuff. Like it's basketball. Like I love it, but it is not that deep. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, chill out. What about you, Vaughn? Do you care about summer league performances?
I don't necessarily care about the performances. I'm just looking when I watch like highlights and stuff, or if I ever do catch a game, it's how does this player look? Like, if he's a defensive specialist, can he switch? Is he slow? If you got a shooter, is he taking smart shots? If you got a scorer, is he hogging the ball for like half or 3/4 of the shot clock just to like take a contested shot? I'm like, how do these players actually look? And I think it just either confirms like, oh, this player's gonna be great, like Chet Holmgren, he's got like great defensive vision, he's unselfish, or maybe I just know jack shit about a player like Shaden Sharp. I was actually looking forward to his summer league, but he got injured, so I have no idea what type of player he's gonna be. So it's just like I'm looking for certain things from certain players.
Yeah, I feel like for people who, because a lot of NBA fans, believe it or not, don't watch college ball too. So I feel like for a lot of people who don't watch college ball, this is a good chance to like see like who's been picked up and see what they're capable of. But at the same time, there's also, like I said, performances where it's like, oh, like I hope he continues this, and then they kind of flounder or they kind of become more of a role player.
All right.
But yeah. So who do you guys think? I don't know if you know, but like off the top of your head, who do you think won this year's draft? Who do you think walked away with the most like, oh my gosh, they might be scary in a couple years?
Oh,
I'll probably say the Thunder, just because of the amount of potential that they're sitting on right now with, what was it, 9 picks? I would say
that's
the
great.
Thunder. Just off the top, that's probably the team I could think of, with just like Chet Holmgren, and then just getting all these other. I'm not too sure how these other players were like in college and whatnot, but they seem like they have like some type of potential, and they've been drafting pretty solid, at least recently for the Thunder, starting with Josh Giddey. But I feel like I said earlier in the pod, just time, that they got time and upside. So off the top, I'm gonna say the
Yeah.
Thunder.
I would say of the top 3 teams that were in this draft, the Rockets, the Magic, and the Thunder, it would be the Thunder, just because they look like they have an identity moving forward. They have Josh Giddey, they have Shea, and now they have Holmgren, along with all these other prospects they have, along with whatever draft picks they got. So they just like fill the roles as needed. I think they have the straightest path forward more than anyone. Their only problem is that they're in the West. For a team
Yeah,
like the Magic, I don't know where they're going. They have lots of young talent, but lots of young guards too. You got Jalen Suggs, R.J. Hampton, Cole Anthony, etc.
Gary Harris.
So
Fultz.
yeah, fall. Someone's getting traded along the line. Someone's going to be a bust down the line. I don't know how the Magic are going to put it together. And then you look at the Rockets. They got Kevin Porter Jr. and then Jalen Green, who both play guards, but they don't really have guard vision. So they're going to need a point guard at some point. Yeah, I'd
I
say
th-
Thunder easy.
yeah, I'm not gonna say Thunder, but I do agree with you guys because their vision is like almost being built in front of our eyes. Like you can see very clearly where they're going. Tall, skinny playmakers who can shoot and finish. And so like
The
their
Thin Towers,
vision,
man.
yeah, their vision is so clear to everyone, and it's like slowly coming together with Shy and Giddy starting to get better every year. Chet like is a really, really good pickup for them. So I
Very.
feel like the Thunder's vision is like basically a book that we're reading. Like it's gonna be insane to see how it ends. My pick, and I'm saying this only because of their fourth pick, is the Kings. I feel like the Kings needed a breakout player so badly, and needed someone to help Fox because Fox has to be tired. He has to be tired of being on the
I know
wondering,
you got paid, but sheesh,
yeah,
man.
wondering who his second option is gonna be next year. Like wondering how hard he's gonna have to carry that team. Like I feel like him getting Keegan is gonna be such a help to the Kings and such a help to Fox that I feel like we're gonna see Fox game get better. We're gonna see Murphy like really just step up. So I'm excited to see how the Kings are gonna look next season.
Hopefully
10th seed
Murray
coming up.
is what they needed, because I honestly thought Halliburton was gonna be part of that 1-2 punch for him, but we saw what happened.
Yeah.
The Sacramento being Sacramento. I don't know why they did that still, but
Yeah, it's
hopefully
like
Sabonis stays for their sake too. So
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
he gets
also
next season.
troubling because like there's always that players like, oh my god, the Kings have a second option, and then they either get traded, they leave, they get bad. Healed. I remember when Healed was going off for the Kings, everyone was so happy. Healed and Fox, and then now he's not, he's in Indiana, not
yeah,
even
like
the
come
state of
on,
California
bro. Like
anymore.
I don't get what they're trying to do there, and we all know they don't have the best track record because, I mean, I don't really have to name much, but they missed out on a lot of talent. Like the most recent one I could think of is none other than Luka Doncic, and it's probably for the most petty reason too, because Vlade Divac doesn't like his dad. So yeah, you just missed out for Marvin Bagley, who has been injured. Actually, I don't even think he's on the team anymore. He's with Detroit, right?
No. Yeah, he's in Detroit.
Yeah. So the Sacramento, man, I pray for Kings fans, man. I just pray for them. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
This is the year, though. This is the year they get to play in tournament. 10th seed. Let's go.
Get that banner ready, bro. Get that banner ready.
I feel like if they don't make the play-in tournament this year or the next,
Just blow it
they
up.
might lose their team.
Yeah,
I feel like Sacramento's on the very verge of losing their team.
Here's a fun fact: no player in the NBA today has faced the
Faced
Kings in
them.
a playoff game.
That's
That's so
terrible
funny.
for the Kings.
That's hilarious. L franchise.
Oh my god. Yeah,
Was it the last time they was in the playoffs? Was that when they faced the Lakers and all that? I don't even remember, dude. I think it's like when we were like kids, bro. Like
Were we
It has to
born?
be
I don't even remember, man. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't even,
Yeah, but this topic kind of had me excited because I feel like in high school I wasn't like I couldn't keep up with a lot of people because I was just getting into basketball. But the one thing I was good at was the prospects. So going through and looking at all the prospects, I was like, man, this is fun. I remember why I liked it. But yeah, I
What's
feel
one guy you thought for sure was going to be big in the NBA but didn't turn out to be that guy?
man, I had such high hopes for this guy, Dennis Smith Jr., man. I thought this dude was
Oh,
gonna be that guy, man. And then when Luca came the year after, I was like, oh, Dallas got it made, man. Just Dennis Smith, just him being him, Luca just being Luca. He gets traded to, I believe, New York. Then he gets traded to Detroit, and he's journeying everywhere. He's out the league for a while, and I believe he just got onto the Portland roster. If I thought he was gonna be something special, man. Like you had people like LeBron hyping him up, like his rookie year. I remember when they was facing the Knicks and stuff, they were saying he was saying the Knicks should have drafted Smith over was it Ntilikina, I believe. Like
yeah.
you
It
had
was
people
him.
like LeBron co-signing him. You just like I thought he was gonna be like the next thing, man. I thought he was gonna, but it's just sad to see. I mean, I wish nothing but the best for him because I still got hope for him. And he's not probably not gonna be like, an all-star or nothing, but hopefully he can at least be like a solid starter at the very most. So that is, man, squandered, man.
That's just how it goes sometimes. He looked
Yep.
good in his rookie season, but then when Luca
Yep.
came, he was just kind of like taking away touches from him. So that's why he got traded. And
Shadowed.
then once you go to the Knicks, many careers die in the Knicks. So
Yeah.
maybe he carves out a role in the Blazers.
this is the
You just
third
never
episode in
know.
a row where we said something bad about the Knicks.
Let's keep it going. We can keep it going if you want.
Me bringing it back to my prospect days, I was a Fultz like stan. I was rooting for Fultz so hard. I was like, people were saying Ben Simmons, but Ben
I
Simmons
still am, bro. I ain't gonna
can
lie.
barely shoot. But I'm like, I was rooting for Fultz so badly, and then the injury and the shooting problems and like all the rumors, we still don't know to this day what exactly happened. But
Really,
I
bro.
still root for him. Like when he got to the Magic, I was excited for him because I was like, thank God he's getting away from Philly.
He was doing good too until he tore his ACL, man. He was
Yeah,
actually,
that was heartbreaking.
I think it was just Brett Brown. I don't know what he was thinking, man. Like had him off he was in like the very end of the bench. I remember he was dropping triple doubles off the bench, like in the playoffs. It's like he
Yeah.
was like you still saw that potential, but it's just like he might have. I think he just needed a new change of scenery.
If you
Personally,
think
Yeah, I
about
think
it,
Philly shattered him. I think because like his confidence was gone. He was pump faking free throws because he was just hesitating
yeah,
before
man.
yeah,
Like there's a reason he went number one. He was like that in college, man. But
yeah, he was. I think even though 76ers started the whole trust the process thing, I think they were the worst ones at it because they had so many high picks that just didn't work out. Joel is the only high pick that's still on that team, I think.
yeah, you
Yeah.
had what Jaleel Okafor, Ben Simmons.
Noel,
Yeah, Nerlens Noel. I forgot about him. Like,
Bolts. Like they had
mhm.
so many high picks that just didn't work out for them. Like they
Yeah,
like don't get me wrong, genius idea, but in the end, for only one to work out is not like that's not a
it's
good
not
thing.
good. And they always had like that curse, like their players get injured like the first year.
True.
So it's crazy, man. Philly got bad luck with that too, sadly. So
Yeah. What about you, Vaughn?
I say most recently, I thought the Celtics got like, their shooter, like their go-to shooter is Aaron Naismith. I thought he was gonna be what Desmond Bain is. Like Desmond Bain's like a 20-point scorer. He shoots the three deep. But I think with Aaron Naismith, he just didn't have like the confidence to be that guy. and it's kind of hard getting minutes. Like he'd be a hustle player sometimes, and then he looked like he's a summer league player. So, and he's not even on the team no more. He's on the Pacers. We traded him for Malcolm Brogdon. So, like, just one of those things that don't pan out, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I heard only good things about him too. Everybody was hyping Buddy up, but I never saw him play once. So I was like, oh, maybe he'll be like that next big thing. But like, I never heard of him like up until like you brought up the trade. I ain't gonna lie, like I didn't know who they traded Brogdon for. So
yeah, he kind of just disappeared. That's kind of happened with a lot of prospects as of late. It's like that's what happens when you're like a contender and you got prospects, as they kind of get lost in the shuffle. Like Romeo Langford, he was like an athletic guard, and we traded him for Derek White.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's what the Warriors and Spurs do so well, is like keeping their prospects and making them good.
facts.
Because the Lakers,
the Celtics are like 50-50 on that. They're like, you have Jaylen Brown, he's all-star pretty much,
Tatum.
and then Jason Tatum, and then Grant Williams is a great rotational piece, and then you got guys like Aaron Naismith and then Romeo Langford. It's like 50-50 on that team.
Yeah, it's basically also the Lakers are exactly like that too, where they get these players and they do so like kind of mediocre, and then they leave, and all of a sudden they're all stars.
Like it's no coincidence, man. Brandon Ingram left, became an all-star. Jordan Clarkson won 6th Man of the Year. Larry Nance did. I mean, actually, he didn't do like too much better.
He's
at least from
good rotational piece. But Julius Randle left and was a 21-point scorer, I think,
for one season, and then
well, then
left and his name stopped getting slandered.
Yeah, like, look, real quick, one thing that's bad about Knicks fans, if your own team hates you, then it's a problem, dude. Like, I'm just saying, like, he was telling, like, when they kept booing him, he told him, like, shut up, keep the same energy. Like, that's kind of bad, dude. Like, I gotta get that sorted out, my guy.
Knicks fans turn so fast. Like, Porzingis is drafted and they were booing him. Like, they don't know how to chill.
Yeah, and then Porzingis, like, oh my god, popped off.
Yep.
I'll never forget the day Porzingis left the Knicks.
Well, we were talking about players that didn't pan out. Is there players that you were so sure wouldn't pan out, like you were just a hater of? Because that guy for me was Trae Young.
Oh my god!
I was so confident this man was like too small to play. It's like they're calling him Steph 2.0. I'm like, there's no way. There's one Steph, and his name,
bro.
He's on the way. I was so sure, but you know, he shushed the Knicks. He's shown he's like a beast.
I'm so glad he's the villain right now of the NBA, because like he had so much hate coming into the league, man. Just like I didn't think he'd be like all-star already, like as quickly as he's become, but like I knew he had some type of potential. Like it was just crazy to see how fast he's doing it, and it's just good to see him prove wrong. But I can't think off the top though, like a certain player.
Yeah,
that's a really good one. I ain't gonna lie, I gotta think.
I'm not a player hater. Like, I don't really ever hate players except for Kevin Durant, but that's because
we know
I don't like how he like leaves and goes to teams so quickly. But other than that, like, I don't know. I don't really hate anyone.
It's like, yeah, it's like a player that's here to stay. Like, I don't really, not off the top.
So
like,
I'm the only hater here.
Nah, I mean, there's players like that I don't like, but it's only because they like to be menaces. It's mainly the Morris brothers, man. Like, dog. Like, what is that? Like, they just sound like
those are your team's enforcers.
No, but like they be doing a little too much though. Like, who's the one that got like bum rushed by Jokic, man? That he shouldn't have did that, bro. He had that coming. You can't do that little slick shit and then just not expect to get blasted. Like, come on, bro.
For sure.
And then the other one was like, what was it? He was just, I mean, it's the playoffs. I get it. Like, you're supposed to be intense and stuff, but he seemed like he was doing a little slick shit too, against Luka and stuff when he was on the Clippers. I don't know if he's still on the Clippers. I ain't gonna lie, but like, it just seemed like he just, even when he was on other teams like the Knicks, he was just being like, for no reason, just being like just abrasive. Like, obviously he's competitive. I'm not saying, be buddy with the player, but You ain't got to do all that extra like stuff like you trying to fight somebody. Like he'd be damn near
That
trying to fight
man,
someone for no reason, which I
he
can't
wears
stand that.
2 pairs of shoes. It's so whatever shoes he's balling in, and then underneath is his black Air Force Ones.
I'm saying like it's like molded like the inside of that shoe that he's wearing on the outside. Like it's like damn, bro. Like Marcus Smart, low key, he used to piss me off with that, but he's gotten a lot better with that with his temper. So it's good to see because he's actually playing ball. Because like he can
Yeah.
hoop. It's just I just hated how he was always trying to like get in somebody's grill and just like start something. It's like, dude, just hoop. Like you're a good player.
Right.
Just
Uh,
stick to that, man. You're good. Like
my player like that who used to be like a menace, and like I hate like whenever he be talking, it was like when he was on the Wizards, because then he'd face the Celtics and it'd be like him versus Isaiah Thomas, and then they'd be in each other's faces talking all the time.
you said, John Wall.
Yeah, it was John Wall.
Yeah, my thing cut out. My bad. But yeah, hey, I remember that year. I think it was actually when they faced the Bulls the first round, and like we had like a really weird roster, and then I think we got gentlemen swept, and then I don't know if the Celtics faced them in the conference final. No, it was the semifinals because Cavs won the conference finals. But yeah, I remember that. That was a really good series actually. Everybody was just getting all intense. Kelly Oubre, Kelly Olynyk, Jay Crowder. That was actually a really fun series. I remember being in school watching that. That was a fun series.
Kelly Olynyk proved to be the GOAT during that series. He was just like he became Steph Curry for a little bit. It made things interesting.
Y'all had like Jerebko. I think that's how you say it. I remember him.
It was a really strange team.
Yeah, who else did y'all have? Avery Bradley.
Avery Bradley. Smart. I think Jaylen Brown was a rookie that season.
Yeah, he was. He was. Damn, look, I'm trying to remember off the team. I don't remember.
There's a lot of players on that team that are no longer in the league.
Yeah. Oh, y'all still had Horford at that time, right?
Remember
he left and then came back.
I think so. Yeah, I think that was his second or first season there.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, the league changed in like the past 5 years for sure. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just the way contracts are structured. Maybe just requesting a trade is less, I don't know, taboo.
Or like egos are getting in the way and they think that there's something that they're not. Maybe because they're thriving because of a system or something. Like you never know. Like I remember when DeAndre was on the Clippers, that man got an All-Star appearance. I believe he got All NBA. You know, and like when he left, I was like, oh, like I didn't really think about like just Chris Paul's lobs to him and like just how he can elevate people's game. And then I looked and I was like, yo, what the hell? So it really was Chris Paul who was making this dude like what he was on the Clippers. Like, holy shit. So just like, yeah, the one thing I like about the NBA, you never know what's gonna happen because like I say, like you never would have thought like years ago that Russell Westbrook and James Harden would have played together, or James Harden, Kyrie, and Kevin Durant would have played together. This is all like it's damn near 2K storylines. Like that's what I love about the NBA. Like you never know what's gonna happen. Like a lot of things I would have been like, what if you told me like years ago? Like,
yeah, especially
those are like easy championships that just fizzled out and like not what you thought they were gonna be.
Or contenders you thought was gonna be contenders, but they couldn't even make the playoffs. Lakers, like.
But yeah, especially with prospects, like I'm pretty sure there's a lot of names that didn't mention right now, but are gonna be popping up throughout the season, kind of like how Mitchell was like that, and
yeah, he was.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure there's some names that like we're gonna look back on and be like, damn, we didn't even mention him at all. Like, and he's running Rookie of the Year. So you never know.
Yeah,
but, continue.
Oh no, I'm just saying, like you said about Mitchell. I remember, everybody thought Lonzo was gonna be Rookie of the Year, and then actually Ben Simmons won that year, didn't he?
That was the meme.
It should have been Mitchell. I'm sorry, but
that was
but meme. I was just kind of like what you were saying, like people that you didn't expect, but
yeah. No, you're good. So shorter podcast today with no Eugene, but I think that's where we're gonna end it this week, unless you guys have any last prospects you want to throw in real quick.
No, I covered all mine.
No, I don't got any off the top.
All right. Well, next week we'll be discussing. We'll be getting into a lot of off-topic discussions, not really talking about past season or future seasons for a while. Next week is going to be about super teams, what is and what isn't a super team, who like, our favorites, ones that didn't work out. But yeah, thank you for listening. We'll see you again next week.